Have you ever been to a strip club in New York? It's kind of sad. Do you know that right now in the strip club in New York, the bartenders are the new thing right now? And if you notice, they don't even hire black bartenders in New York City strip clubs, which is sad
Why do you think that is?
because I feel like people is having these fetish with these girls that they consider exotic. I don't think that you need to look at lighter skinned sisters as our competition. We should all be women first and foremost. And I think too many times we focus on skin tone. And it's really no fault of our own. We've just really been conditioned by the media and by just the world that unfortunately lighter skin is considered beautiful. That's just the way of the world. You can't change that. But what you can do is love yourself.
All right, you see the title. It says, "It's my preference. I don't date dark-skinned girls." And I put this clip in the video, and I'm going to add a couple of more clips in here to prove my point. But there's a video that's been circling around in reference to Cardi B saving the day from a bouncer that wouldn't let black women in the club. Now, I thought segregation was over with. It's one thing to have a preference, but it's another thing to segregate your own people based on skin color. And I didn't even think this type of stuff was allowed no more. But there are places out there that's predominantly colorist, some places that's predominantly racist, and there's some states that a lot of black men do like black women. And those places that are really colorist are Miami, California, and some parts of Orlando. And you know, those places are on the coast, so you have a lot of people that come from the islands that come there. So there's a lot of non-black, exotical Dominican Republic type women there. Now you got a lot of people out here celebrating what she did as far as speaking up for the black women that were in line. Let me go ahead and just play the video real quick so you guys can get an idea of what I'm saying before I get into it. All right, you guys. So you see right here, she's gonna be walking up into the club, and then a couple of black women that were in line that they weren't letting inside are going to catch her attention to ask to tell her that they're not letting them in.
They're not even letting the sisters in. That's the funny one. That'd be all white girls. No black women. My husband played football, he didn't even let us in. We couldn't even buy a table. That's how they do it. They're not letting black women. None.
I can let some black women in here. Let the black women in here.
No, they don't. No, they don't, Cardi. No, they don't.
Now let them in.
That damn year. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Hey, Cardi. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I got you a bottle. 1, 2, 3. Hey. Cardi said, let us in.
We let him in. We gotta get you in first.
Let Cardi in.
Think about it.
Sir, you heard that, right? We'll be patient. And I got you.
All right, so y'all see that. And that was a nice thing that Cardi B did. She didn't have to do that. Like you heard in the beginning of the video, she know how the game goes. She know how these clubs work, but she's not responsible for the way it runs. She got a job to do, and she didn't have to do what she did. So we got to stop placing responsibility on everybody else and go to the source of why a person's not being treated unfair. There's a lot of people, a lot of celebrities that would have just probably spoke and walk on by. Someone probably wouldn't have spoke at all, and they probably just would have went in there, made their money, and came on back out. And it looks like this was recorded with a phone. This wasn't professional. She didn't know that anybody was going to be recording her. She didn't know that anybody was going to be asking her or telling her none of this stuff. She just came there. So it's unfortunate that this went viral or anybody even seen this, because I'm sure there has been plenty of clubs that has been like this for a long time, and people have went in and nobody said nothing about it. It hadn't went viral until now. So this is just one of those situations to where it just got exposed. And like I said, men can have preferences all day, but this is just going too far. It's, to me, it's just going too far. It's segregation. I mean, I know somebody's gonna probably defend it and be like, well, they have their preferences. This is not a preference. This is a public establishment. Now we know colorism is real, whether people want to agree with it or not, whether it change or not. We know that it's real, but you don't want to let that take control of your life. You still gotta live, and you don't want to become consumed in this stuff. But fairness and respect is what's most important. Now I feel like if people just want certain type of people at their parties or whatnot, then that should be something that's private or more secluded. You see what I'm saying? Like when people rent a building out, they only invite their family and their friends there, and nobody else from the public can come there. If they have a party at their house, they can invite their own family and friends there. But when you have a public establishment that's out on the strip, that's open to the public, it's just not right. It's just not right to say you can't enter because you look this way, but everybody else can come in. And if there had been any other situation to where a person couldn't come in, versus if it was black versus white or any other type of reason of discrimination, then that would be wrong as well. And so, like I said, Cardi B didn't have to do this, but then you still have some women out here that are mad and bitter at Cardi B as if she did something wrong. There's a lot of people that appreciate what she did, because you have heard it all throughout the net how black women have been holding non-black women accountable for the preference of black men. And I just could never understand that. It's really not their fault that black men have a preference and they are at the top of the list. That's not their fault. But somehow we keep holding them accountable and telling them to hold being accountable. And then when somebody finally holds them accountable because that's what you asked them to do, then you're still not satisfied with that. And I don't understand that. A lot of people have been saying that Cardi B knew what kind of club that was. She shouldn't have went. And them black people pay her bills. That's why she did that. As if she knew what was going to happen before it happened. As if as a entertainer or a rapper or a celebrity, you're not supposed to take a gig and just do your job. I doubt that people are just calling in saying, I'm not going to take this gig until y'all let me know how many black women going to be there. That don't make no sense. People don't do stuff like that. That's not even something that a person would just think about. The first thing that's just going to come to their mind when they're taking a gig. Why make enemies with the women that they put you in competition with, when women in general can just stick together? And that's something that Lovely T was talking about in the video, and that's why I played that, because we have to learn how to love ourselves. I hate that those women were out there and they had to kind of look like they were in a sense of begging to get in, because I wouldn't have went to a place to where a person didn't want me there. But at the same time, I'm assuming that they came to see Cardi B. I'm assuming that's how they ended up there in the first place. But then at the same time, nothing's going to really change if something like this doesn't happen, to where we can't all just coincide with each other, get along with each other, and at least have respect for each other despite our preferences or despite how we look. We should be able to walk this earth and pass each other and do things in fairness without having to be discriminated. We came too far from being discriminated. And we don't always have to call out a non-black woman in reference to a black man because he don't want us. Listen to this clip also that Lovely T had to say about that.
I'm pretty and he can't fool me because I'm too dark for him. That's his issue. I'm not going to make that my issue. Because for every man who won't fuck with a brown-skinned girl, there's thousands who will. There's thousands of other guys who don't care about your complexion and want to know you for who you are. So I think sometimes we get too hung up on and get mad when guys have preferences. If you're not what that guy is looking for, hello, he's not for you. Move on to the next. Because for everyone who is not, for every guy who feels like you're not the woman for him, then you need to move on. There's no reason to get mad or beat that man up. He's going to have his preference. You can't change the way people look at things. You can't change society. But so many times we're made to look like the angry, the bitter or angry brown-skinned girl. And I don't think we have to be bitter as brown-skinned women about anything. I don't think that you need to look at lighter-skinned sisters as our competition.
That's right. We don't have to be bitter about anything. We don't have to look at non-Black women as our competition. They're not our competition, even though there may be people out there that are putting Black women in competition with non-Black women, but there's men out here in the world that are in spaces that don't think like that and don't react like that. But at the same time, even though we know that there are a lot of them that do, that still shouldn't stop our shine. That still shouldn't dim our light. That shouldn't make us react the way that we react to retaliate against somebody else because we're unhappy with the results that we're getting from the people that we want. Like she said, if somebody doesn't prefer you, move on because somebody else will. And a lot of people are making these videos about light skin preference and light skin this and light skin that and holding them accountable. This whole thing had to do with a bouncer not letting Black women in. And I thought that the topic would be related towards that. But the topic is about how disingenuous Cardi B is for her motives of helping Black women. That's a form of being bitter. There's no reason to be mad about that. One comment says, I wanted to hold off because really I thought people had some sense. Cardi did us no favors. Well, me at least. This was calculated and for her convenience. Trust that. No respect, no praising, nothing from me. This is the same insecure woman who dogs Black women when given a chance. I'm not going to read too many comments, but I just want to make my point. It says, I don't know why so many of you are applauding Snotty Bees. She has made it clear that she's not fond of Black women. Yet she have to support so many Black women, just like these clothing brands and so forth and so on. Don't support them. Don't listen to their music. Don't purchase their brand. Same with the male artists. You don't like brown or dark skinned women. You have more power than you think. F these clowns. Y'all are wild in these comments. Cardi just had to sign to Playboy and sign a contract. She had to be at these clubs but ended up refusing to perform. Y'all trying to make her look like the bad guy, so not realizing she probably blew her check. She had been at 3 other clubs at this same night. Y'all get the picture. Y'all see what's being said in the comment section. They just not showing a liking to what's going on right now. But like I said, she didn't have to do it. Let alone did them women have to stay out there like that. If she would have walked in and not said anything, there would have been a ton of videos on YouTube saying, yeah, see, that's how it is with those light-skinned women. They don't want to help no Black women. They just care about their own preference and this, that, and the third. That's what would have happened. So it's kind of like, dang if you do, dang if you don't. You got to learn how to love yourself. If you're getting mistreated or treated unfairly based off of the color of your skin, that's a bigger issue than being light-skinned. I remember when people were saying that Sweetie didn't speak up for Black women when she was talking to Too Short, but Too Short was the one that made those comments. All around social media, everybody wondered, why is she getting praised for that? Why is she getting praised for that? Whether it's praise or not, people gonna react anyway because she's a celebrity. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging someone doing something nice for someone else or saying thank you or whatever. However you want to put acknowledgement on that, there's nothing wrong with it. We put so much acknowledgement on negative stuff to where when something positive do happen, it's like, why are they getting praised for doing something positive? That's crazy to me. How will we make a change if you don't praise or acknowledge anything that's positive? Y'all see what's going on. Y'all see it don't matter what we do. The wrong people get blamed and stuff just don't stay the same. Y'all already see right here. We had all the videos out here we was making years and years ago about colorism and calling out colorism and speaking on colorisms and stuff like that, holding people accountable, speaking out on it, seeing how we can work together towards it. And then right here you have Chris Brown last time. This is a similar situation. He was talking about he didn't want no darkies at his birthday party. And this all arose from TikTok and it went viral because he kicked the woman out the club for being dark skinned. Y'all seen all of that. Right here it says Chris Brown gets dragged after dark skinned woman claims singer banned her from the section for being too dark. Right here. Y'all remember Tokyo Vanity spoke out about it. They even dragged Kelly Rowland because they thought she spoke out about it, but all she did was just made a response to one of the man's posts, and she ended up in the mix somehow trying to defend him over the backlash of dark-skinned women, and it's just all kind of crazy right here. It says Kelly Rowland responds after defending Chris Brown, and she said that she was responding to his music, but somehow she got into the mix of the controversy. And then you got Cash Doll right here that said colorism didn't never affect her, and then all the women dragged her, and then she had to act like colorism affected her a year later right here just to be accepted back in the community. So it's a lot of stuff going on out here regarding colorism that just makes things more toxic than it already is. And we just, like Lovely T said, we just got to learn how to love ourselves and stop trying to hold other people accountable for other folks' preferences. If somebody don't want you there, just leave. That's just how it is in this world. We can't make nobody accept us. I know it's hard, but all we have to do is just treat each other fairly. Lil Wayne said he don't like dark-skinned women. Glock 9 said he don't like dark-skinned women. Chris Brown said he didn't like the darkies. His words. Kodak Black said he didn't like dark-skinned women. And Queen Op said she don't want no dark-skinned babies. Now we can see that there's a problem here. But what can we do about it? What can we do about it?
Talk about one of your interviews that you feel like that dark-skinned girls don't get praised by society as much as light-skinned girls.
Yes, it's true. And if you notice, they don't even hire black bartenders in New York City strip clubs, which is sad.
This is true, what she's saying. They like those exotic women. You know, they go to these exotic places that arouse sexual energy, and they want the exotic feel and the exotic look. And so what they feel to be exotic to them is something that's non-black. Now, this ain't me saying this. This is how they feel. This is their preference. But like Lovely T said, we can't worry about that stuff. We can't worry about that stuff. We can't become consumed in something we have no control over. When it comes to respect, when it comes to fairness, and when it comes to being treated right, when it refers to colorism or racism, that's what we need to worry about. All the other stuff don't matter. Whether you can work in a strip club, whether you get a date with a black man, all that stuff don't matter. We don't need to be there anyway. But I mean, there's so many other opportunities for us that are always better opportunities, better people.
Change that. But what you can do is love yourself. And I will always go back to that philosophy. You can't let another person dictate how you feel about yourself. I could have let what that man said to me in the club last night hinder me and feel like, I'm beneath everyone else and I'll never be as good as my lighter skinned counterparts. I'll never be wifey material because of my skin complexion. I'll never get married. I'll never have children. I could have really let his words affect me. But instead, I looked at him like, okay, that's your choice. Next, move on. I'm not going to let anybody pin me or put me into a box and make me feel a certain way.
With that being said, you guys, don't let anybody's words control you. Some people will take one bad situation and let that control their whole life. And you are allowing that person to have control over you when you haven't even seen them in years. They have moved on. They living their life. They living their best life. And you're still allowing that one conversation or those few words or those few encounters to take control of your life. Don't let people's words or their actions take control of your life. Learn from it, move on, and become better. And only give your energy to people that appreciate you. Because when you become consumed in this stuff, you're still giving those people your energy. That's all I gotta say. Like I said, this situation is crazy. There should be no segregation when it comes to going to public places and unfair treatment and activities that's going on out there. And people just need to stop, respect each other, love each other, and just get along. You guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you like the video. I'm out.